Hey, when you're gonna start to learn to grind, you're gonna have wheel bite. That's where your wheel touches the deck of whatever you're grinding. And if that happens, you're gonna have a bad time. It is inevitable, but you need to manage it. You can select hardware that helps you less and less wheel bite. And there's techniques to help you have less and less wheel bite. And in this video, I'll show you both these things. Let's look at my skate. This is a very old skate. They use the UFS Throne. It's for sale anymore. It's a vintage model, but it's the skate that I always had back in the day. I love it, and I just recently started skating on this one again. Of course, with an Intuition liner. This frame only has 2 wheels, and if you have 2 wheels, it makes it a lot easier to not have wheel bite, because otherwise, normally, it's this wheel that sits here that touches first. Point that's touching is always the side of the wheel. So if you have pointy wheels, they touch less soon because the side of the wheel is less sticking out. So that's one thing you can do, pointy wheels. Then you want to have kind of like your wheels in a lot, so that if you're on the side of your skate, that your wheels don't even touch like the deck. But right now, for my setup, I'm not even having the ideal setup for not having wheel bite, because my wheels are still touching. So if I would have like a little bit smaller wheels even, it would have been better. One other thing, because it's mainly about this angle here. If you have a slimmer sole plate, if the sole plate is less wide, then you can stand deeper and then the wheels go up more. And then that also prevents wheel bite. So one thing that you can do with your current setup is just to grind it on the ground and then make your sole plate less wide and then stand deeper in your royales and everything. Smaller wheels helps, pointier wheels helps, but also the width of your frame helps. So if the walls on your frames are super wide, they protect your wheels better from wheel bite. We have an entire video about selecting frames. And in that video, I also run through the difference anti-rocker, which is 2 wheels, and flat frames, which is having 4 wheels. And I'm going through all the aggressive frames on the market, comparing them with each other. So if you want to dive more into the aggressive frame options, you can do that on our channel as well. We also have a video just about grooves, where I go even deeper in what the best groove is, and it really helps you to prevent wheel bite and which one doesn't. Then of course you need to stand sideways really deep, and that's pretty hard for beginners to have this angle. It helps if your skate has a little bit more sideways flex. And for this one we also have a video on our channel. It's called Sideways Flex. It shows all the things that you to help you have sideways flex, also to make your skate stiffer. What you want to do in this situation, you want to have more sideways flex. Stuff like the plastics on your skate, they actually matter. Some plastic are stiff, some plastic flexible, but there's a bunch of other stuff. So watch that video if you want to get some hardware. To summarize, all the hardware advice is you want to have a skate that's slide. And sliding is when you slide on the plastic like this, on the side of your skate or on the side of your frame. It's called sliding when you slide on your wheels. So that's the difference between sliding and sliding. And for aggressive skating, you really want to have a setup that allows you to just get into the slide without having wheel bite. Slim sole plate, thick walls, small wheels, pointy wheels, flexible boot. Those are the things. Play around with it, but of course you can do it on any skate. You can prevent wheel bite on any, and it also is in the technique a lot. So let's go through the technique. What's happening with the wheel bite, and how can you improve your technique for not having it? If you're doing a frontside grind like this, and you have your toes up, then you're not gonna have wheel bite. So one solution is to just lean back entirely with your entire weight, but then you cannot grind so long. But you can also have your balance right at the right spot, but just have your toes up if you're in frontside position, or if you're in the backside position, have your toes down so that you don't have wheel bite with your back foot. Yeah, this is just completely possible, okay, to do like a frontside grind or a backside grind and just have your toes up or down, whichever is the one. But it is something you should learn. So start with just stalling these tricks that you're having trouble with. We just did a video with all the foot positions, and for every foot position, of course, it's a little bit different of a focus point for yourself. In general, it's the same technique. You don't want to have your wheel to touch, stick your toes up. So next time you're gonna practice stalling, keep the wheel bite in mind. And because often when people stall, Like let's say I'm gonna do a sole stall. Now I'm actually having my wheel on the deck here, and I'm using that to keep balance. So I can stand like this forever, but it's definitely cheating because a stall should be a simulation or a model of what you actually want to do. The stall should be considered as a fail if your wheel touches. That was a fail. Now let's see if I can do it. That was good, but then I didn't have balance. Yeah, that's how you want to stall. No wheel bite and balance. But if you don't have the right focus point on that, you're also not going to achieve it. And then you can also not do it while grinding, because if you cannot stall the trick, you can also not grind the trick. So that's with the position of your toes. There's one more thing that you can do, because this was just like a simple stall, but normally there is some sideways movement in your grind. A common beginner mistake is to ride really parallel next to the curb and jump on it like this. But it's actually also really nice to come in it a little bit in an angle, like this. Boom. You can use that angle to then first lock it a little bit like this and then later move it like that. Or you lock it like this on the side of the coping, and then you move that side, you use that sideways motion to then go onto the top of the rail. So it helps with the wheel bite if you're gonna change your perception of what a grind is to not having it focused on grinding on top of the coping, but you're gonna focus your attention on grinding like this part of the coping or even that part of the coping. So that was it for those techniques. And now we're gonna move on to the outer edges. This is what it's called in normal skating, like recreational skating. This is your outer edge. But with aggressive skating, it's called backslides or royales or something like this. So this is like a backslide if you do it on 1 foot, and it's a royale if you do it on 2 foot. This is called a cap driver. If you want to dive deeper into all those names, watch the previous video we just did last week. And this is one of those fundamental things that you as an upcoming aggressive skater need to master. It's like standing on your outer edge, and you want to have your sole plate the ground. And I'm gonna do this now on the ground first, because if you cannot do this on the ground, then you cannot do it in a stall. And if you cannot do it in a stall, you cannot do it in a grind. So don't learn this while grinding, because you're gonna have wipeouts and everything. The first exercise that you need to do, and I would really advise you to try this in your next session, is just to sit like this, have your feet like this. Both of the sole plate should be on the coping. I even like to get down and like this, and then get up. And probably this is gonna hurt. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is just a major part of the sport, and it hurts, especially in the beginning. It's like I did Aikido when I was a kid, and then we always had to greet the master, and we had to sit like this. I still remember. We had to sit like this for quite a long time during the official start of the lesson. And it always hurted with me as well. And I said this to the sensei, and then he just said to me, you just have to deal with the pain and it will become less every time. It was true. After a half year of Aikido, it didn't hurt anymore. And that's kind of the process that you have to go through now as well with this royale thing. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but just do it for as long as you can and do it every session. And then after a couple of months, probably it doesn't hurt anymore. So we're gonna go through all the exercises. This is one, and then get down. But once you master that, you wanna be able to jump into the trick on the ground. So I'm gonna get down and then have it immediately. It's really hard for a beginner. You know that you're gonna do it correct if you hit the plastic sound on the ground instead of having the wheel sound on the ground. So this plastic sound is good, and this wheel sound is not good. You can also play around with different heights. So at first, you can just do it like this, and then see if you can stand. But you can also find something that's lower, and then sit on that like this, and practice it like this. I love this. I do this as a stretching technique a little bit before the session as well. All right, so this is called the cab driver position, and it's not the Royale. The Royale is going to be the main goal. You want to be able to do this on one foot. Next thing that we're going to practice is the Royale, and I think it's best to do it while sitting again. All right, so you sit here. You should have your knees over your toes, like this, not like this. So your weight on your front wheels, and then you're gonna try it with one foot. And then you're gonna try to stand on it with one foot. And you see that my knee is all the way to the side of the skate, but the skate is in the middle, so it is underneath my nose, and it is perpendicular to my shoulders. So it's not like this or like this. So pay attention to all those little details, otherwise you're gonna do it wrong. So I'm gonna still hold on and then see if I can just put my weight on one foot, maybe slowly let go and then grab it again. This should be just your new therapy. Every morning when you get up, put on your skates, sit on the side of your bed, and then just see if you can stand on it like this. Once you master it, you can play around with the other leg. Normally it should be here, but you can also swing it a little bit and play with it. But in the end, of course, you should be able to do it with the other foot next to it. My weight distribution is really like 90%, 10%. So there's almost no weight on this foot. And my boot here is underneath my nose there. Play around with different heights. Practice this a lot. This is not gonna happen you're not gonna like watch this, repeat it, and do it right away. It's not gonna happen. So it just takes a lot of time. Then an extra exercise which is gonna make it really fun is to do, if you master that standing still, to do it while riding on the ground. We can just go skate, then get low, and then do a Royale like this. And then it's gonna turn into a cess slide. Let's see if I can do it. So you get some speed, get down, and then go into a cess slide. And you can also do it for the cab driver. So we get some speed, you get down, and then 2 feet at the same time, like this. It's really fun to play around with this. Also, you can never fall hard with it because you're already close to the ground. It's really safe. I can almost guarantee you, if you cannot do this exercise, you probably also cannot do a proper Royale on the coping box or on the curb. The next step is to jump into your trick standing still. So let's see if I can do that. Skate a little bit, up, jump into my Royale. Okay, it's also really fun to practice. It's just a nice little exercise. And then once you're ready, we can do it on the coping box. Let's go. First, you want to get the position in the stall, and I'm not going to jump on it. I'm just going to first practice the position like this. Focus on not having Wheelbite, of course. Step on it, and then once you can stand on it for like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, then you can do the next step and jump on it. If you want to do front sides, the easiest way to learn it is to do a perpendicular run up. Oh, now I had Wheelbite, so I need to keep my toes up more. Okay, like that. Then I can do the same thing with Royale. The hard part of this, if we're getting here, the hard part for a beginner who cannot really do Royales yet, is probably going to be that you want to land straight and then move to the Royale. I've seen it so many times. Don't do that. If you notice that you're doing it, take a step back, maybe even step on it again. Make a picture, if you're standing in this position, in your mind, of how it feels to have this leg in that position. And then before you jump, try to reimagine that picture that you just took with your legs on your outer edge. And now I'm doing it perpendicular. If you mastered it, if you land directly on your backslide groove right here, then you can do the angle steeper and steeper every time. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of an angle and then Royale. I have a little bit of Wheelbite now. Of course, for you, it's going to take a lot of repetition, but I already did those repetitions when I was 13. So that's how you learn the Royale. There's a downside to all this, because if you're going to do all this in the hardware, if you're going to like change your skate to be more cess-slide ready, you're going to make it harder to roll. And it's going to be an eternal struggle to find the perfect setup that rolls nice and grind nice. And that's your personal journey. Your personal journey can start here on this channel, because we have a lot of videos about all the hardware choices. And we also have 3 shops, one in Amsterdam, one in Berlin, and one in Antwerp. So if you want to get the right fitting skate or the right fitting frame, come to one of our shops and have all the products there that you dream of. And experiment with this. Every frame will make you skate a little bit different. Will make some things harder, some things more easy. So it's really fun to play with different hardware because it will affect your technique. Hope you like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you like it. We do a whole series now filled with aggressive skate tips. So start at the beginning if you just watched this as the first one. If this is your 10th one already,